Hello and welcome to the bonus edition of the Lesson 7-1 walkthrough for 5th grade on page 233. In this walkthrough, I'm literally going to go through the problems on the page. I'm not going to use my own made-up examples. I'm going to pull from here and walk you through how this works so you can get a feel for whether your work is on point or maybe identify where you took a wrong turn. So let's hop right in. Our first question is 3 1/8 times 4, and we need to turn that into an area model. Basically what that means is we just have to break down each part of our numbers that we're using. With the number 4, it's a whole number, so there's only one piece. So one side of our area model can just be 4. It can be all the way through. But we need to take the mixed number and split him up. And that's exactly what we did here. We split 3 1/8 into an area with 3, and then another one with 1/8. And so from here, you're left with basically like a grid, a multiplication chart that we have to complete. We can start with the 3 and the 4. The 4 will come over here, and the 3 will meet them here. So we need to do 3 times 4. And 3 times 4 equals 12. Cool. And we only have one other box we need to fill out for this problem. This could go pretty quickly here. We just need to do 4 times 1/8. And here's the good news about this fraction that we're using here. We can it's just literally 4 1/8. It's like doing this. 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. And when we add fractions, we keep the denominator 1, 2, 3, 4. It's literally just saying we have 4 eighths here. So 4 times 1/8 equals 4 eighths. And so basically we just solved number 1. All we need to do is to take the answer from the first multiplication problem we did, first partial product, and the answer from the second one, and combine them, and you get 12 and 4/8. And if you're really crafty, you might recognize that 4 is half of 8, so you could call it 12 and a half. Okay, so that's how number 1 shakes out. Now let's take a look at numero dos. And you'll notice each problem is introducing something that is just pushing you a little bit further. And in this case, we're doing a mixed number by a fraction, which on the first problem, we were doing a mixed number times a whole number. So we're going to have to try this one out and see how it shakes out. We have 2 3/5 times 1/4. And I always like to take the standalone and put them on the right-hand side. So I'm going to take the 1/4 and put them here. And it looks like we'll have 2 columns for this mixed number. We'll need a spot for 2 and another one for 3/5. So I'm going to say, like, I don't know, this could be around 2 holes. And then I'm going to squeeze 3/5 in here. So now we're going to do the same thing we did for number 1. We need to multiply every number by the other, or every number over here by every number we see here. And since there's only one number here, that means we'll do 1/4 times 2. That'll be this zone. And then can you see what the other one is? It'll be 1/4 times 3/5. Now, interestingly, the fraction one might be the easier one for us to multiply this time around. Because to multiply fractions, you just multiply right across. So you literally just do 1 times 3, which equals 3, and 4 times 5, which equals 20, I believe. So we already have that one taken care of. Now what we have to do here, they're basically asking us what's 1/4 of 2. There's a few different ways we can do this one. This actually works if you want to just go ahead and turn 2 into a fraction. You could do 1/4, and to turn any whole number into a fraction, you just put it over the number 1. So 2 wholes as a fraction would just be 2/1. And so if this helps you to solve this one better or more easily, you can just turn the whole number into a fraction and then multiply. So now we have 1 times 2 equals 2, and 4 times 1 equals 4. So what you're left with here is 2/4. Now the tricky part is we have to combine these two fractions, 3/20 and 2/4. And to do that, ooh, almost lost it. Well, let me see if I can think of a trick here. I was going to show the addition, but we need to get this number 4 to match 20 so we can add them. And there's a trick for us to do that. Anything we do to the 4, we also need to do to the 2 to make sure the fraction stays even. So I'm going to ask you this question. Bear with me here. What can we multiply the 4 by to equal 20? What times 4 equals 20? Pause the video if you need to think about it. Elsewise, I'm going to tell you that we can do 4 times 5 equals 20, which will give us the same denominator. But like I said, if you multiply the bottom by 5, you have to do the top by 5 too, so it's still an equivalent fraction. So 2 times 5 equals 10. And so now what we did here is we have 10/20 plus 3/20, and we can do that one, okay? We can do 10/20 plus 3/20, and the denominator stays the same when you're adding fractions, and we just add the numerators. So 10 plus 3 equals 13. Okay, so that's going to be our answer for number 2. Again, feel free to, it's your choice, but feel free to pause throughout my walkthrough and maybe try to see if you can figure it out on your own first. And then what you can do is when you hit that roadblock, that part you don't know how to do, you can come back and see what I'm doing on my end to see if